Hey guys, it's good to be back. It has been a while. We've been in the wilderness, recharging. So today I want to talk about the accounting industry. Recently, there has been news that one of the big four in the world, has left Zimbabwe. And I also have news that is coming through saying one of the other big four firms has lost all its management, all its accountants, all its senior partners. They've left for America, and some of them, they've formed another accounting firm that is going to be coming in very soon. So the question is, what is going on in the accounting industry? I, as an accountant, I found it very important to speak about the issues that are happening in the accounting industry, whether this industry is still relevant in this economy. My thoughts around it, I'll share them towards the end, but I'll give you some background to what has been happening. In my professional job, I work as a preparer of financial statements, and in accounting, there's an auditor, there's a preparer. So these two people are qualified the same. However, the other one prepares and the other one audits. So what has been happening in recent years, ever since the re-dollarization of the economy, or ever since this new hyperinflation came about, so what has been happening is there's been a lot of disagreements between preparers and auditors. And these disagreements were coming from valuation of assets, because you will see that in the economy, because everyone else is dollarized except for reporting purposes, except for the government. So the government says you must report in Zimbabwe dollars as the functional currency, and then on the other end you have what's happening in the economy, where every transaction is now in US dollars. So the question is, at what rate would you then report your accounts? Because you are then forced to go back and translate. And when you want to translate your US dollars into Zimbabwe dollars, you are faced with so many different rates: the interbank, the auction rate, the parallel market rate. All these rates are there. So what rate were you going to use? So accountants and auditors would then disagree, and this disagreement would then make it difficult for auditors to say this is clean. The international community, because when you look at these big four entities, they are under scrutiny from their international partners. They are then looking at them, saying whatever is coming out of Zimbabwe, we want to review and see. So you'd realize that over the past few years, these international big firms, they would finalize their audits and then send their work abroad for quality control, for approval, whatever it is that they were doing. So what it meant was then the local partners, because remember, there's no difference in qualification, whether you qualified in South Africa or in Zimbabwe. It's the same qualification. So you realize that the local partners, the senior people in these accounting firms, will then become redundant, because they are no longer decision makers, because decisions are now being made in other jurisdictions who are then looking at our economy, at these accounts. What I found amiss was these people would then be looking at these accounts, have no history to do with a certain company. And this is where the challenge is. Because of this new process where these accounts have to go abroad and someone has to do quality review, which is good but bad at the same time. Because of these new developments, it meant more time was needed to finalize accounts. So what is the need of a financial statement? Financial statements are needed by users of the same. in an economy. People like investors, people like bankers, people like government, and the like. So those are the users of financial statements, and they must be presented to the public on time so that decisions can be made. So if you are an investor on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, you want to look at those accounts whilst they are still fresh. If they say we made a profit of 1 billion, you want to be able to relate to the 1 billion so that you can make a decision whether to buy more shares or to sell the shares that you have or to wait for a dividend. But then, because of these new developments, it meant more time was then required. Maybe if the company was producing its accounts within a month, maybe they needed 2 months or maybe they needed 3 months. Where I worked during that time, our accounts took 6 months. And when you are going through 6 months trying to finalize an audit, it means when the accounts are then released, they are now not relevant to the economy. So the question is, do we really need it? Do we still need the Big Four? Maybe we don't. Are our accountants not good enough? Maybe they are. Maybe they are not. Those are my questions for today.